Pour a glass of craft beer, we can do this. Yeah.
So we have a brand new segment that we want to start releasing on video. So we're going to start it here on the podcast, and it's called Let's Argue. So to be fair, we stole it from Anthony Fantano from Needle Drop. Shouts to you, bro. We actually got to hang out with Anthony in 2011. Notion and I, my brother, we went to South by Southwest. We first moved here. We went to a panel on YouTube. So as you can imagine, YouTube was a lot smaller in 2011. And he was just this dude who was a music reviewer, and he was talking about how to grow on YouTube and stuff. And we talked to him afterwards because we go to festivals, to a conference, and you want to go talk to the person on the panel and stuff. We talked to him. We hung out with him at shows later. He was mad cool. We even put us in his vlog. And then as it got, he's like the biggest music reviewer on YouTube by far. Like, people give him shit all the time. He was like awesome to us. Really cool guy. So he has a segment where he just posts on Twitter. He's like, let's argue. Give us your most controversial takes, and then we're going to argue about it. And he will go and he'll just like, it'll be like a statement, which is sort of what we have here. We're going to start with 3 different ones. And basically we're going to just sort of debate maybe both sides of it, or just see how we feel. Maybe we agree with it, maybe we don't.
We'll see where it goes.
So the first one is the Haze Craze is over. The short answer is no.
Not a fucking chance.
Absolutely not. Tell us your thoughts on why.
So I will tell you my thoughts on it, and I do kind of have it in my head because this was one of the blog posts that I wrote. My second post was was our classic style. It kind of related. It was our classic styles getting lost in the haze.
Yes.
Okay, so I guess it's related, but it's not exactly the same. But anyway, no, I don't think Haze is going anywhere. I think,
why?
So I think it's just kind of it's one of those things that beer trends can kind of go in a couple of ways. I think one way that it can go is okay, here's kind of a new thing that's different, which kind of is interesting for a little while, but then kind of peters out. Yes. Like an example of that, I think that's kind of what happened to brewed IPAs. Yeah, you already knew where I was going with that.
I could feel it.
But with so many other things in beer, though, the styles had to start somewhere, right?
Correct.
And I think hazy IPAs basically just kind of evolved into their own style.
Yes, they did.
It's and it's one of those things that has been continuously popular basically since its inception, I think. Mm-hmm. It's continued to have that kind of popularity. It's not a fad. It's not going to disappear. I think it's just an evolution of the style.
Yeah, of indie pale ales.
Yeah.
Yeah. I would agree. I think one reason to support that it is not dead, is the addition of New England IPAs to official world beer. I'm not sure if the World Beer Awards or GABF, things like that. Any beer judging things, or the BJCP, I believe they actually added a formal definition of what a New England IPA is.
Yeah.
I feel like that says it all. The fact that it's a style that was sort of invented over the last 3 to 5 years. I'm not too sure exactly. And it's now an official style. And there was more New England IPAs. I can't speak for 2019, but 2018, when we went to GABF, there was more New England's submitted to GABF for awards than any other style, almost combined. It was absurd.
Yeah.
Everywhere I go, it's the main beer that most breweries are pushing.
And look what we saw at Liquid Arts, even which had breweries from from around Canada, even outside Ontario, from the US, from Europe, from Australia, from Asia,
everywhere. Everyone was doing it.
90% of what I would say 90% of what was there was haze.
Yep, and for good reason, because that's what people want. I think another reason why it's not dead is that every part of the world moved in its own time.
Yep.
Quebec is behind most of Canada. Quebec is only picking up on the haze now with Bar Canada over the last, 2 years? And now Massorum over the last 2 months.
Yep.
Even, breweries like Pub Brewski have a fantastic New England. They just installed their new system. Next week is their launch of all their new beers. I think that's amazing. They're probably going to have a bunch of hazy joints.
And some of the older breweries in Quebec have started brewing what they're calling New England IPAs.
A lot of them aren't.
Basically reluctantly, I think.
Some of them have straight up told me they're doing it because they have to. And
Yeah.
they didn't. And they're like, but it has to be balanced. And I'm like, you're talking about balance in the sense that like you're moving away from what the style really is just to have everything even.
Yeah.
And it's not what it's supposed to be ridiculous on one side. That's what the style is.
Exactly.
I don't ever test it with them because who am I to do that? But that's generally.
No, like certain of these breweries have been around for long enough to the point that like there's no need to question them on it, and they also don't need to I don't think they need New England IPAs to stay in the game. They've got a proven track record in what they've been brewing for the last 10, 15, 20 years.
Why bother?
So the fact that they don't make a New England IPA in the way that I want a New England IPA to be made doesn't really make a difference.
Not to me. I mean, they can do it. Maybe they got some fans that'll dig it. Maybe they won't. It is whatever. But there's no need to do it because you feel like you have to. I think that's
exactly
a bit silly. But even if you look at other places like Australia, they've typically been behind. Even Canada's behind the States. Australia's been behind both countries. But seeing them, like the New England's, just I keep really close tabs on Australia now and with the scene, and like I'm seeing tons out there. Like it's out of control. So I feel like everywhere in the world is hitting it slowly. I bet. Pretty much anywhere you go, I bet like maybe South America seems a little more traditional in their beer stuff, but I bet if you go to different places, you'll find some New Englands. I bet if you go to Asia, you'll find some. I bet if you go to
and I've noted that that Europe is kind of moving in that direction as well, and it kind of it's been a little bit up behind North America, kind of in the way that Quebec has been has been a bit behind. Like when I was in Italy a couple of years ago. A couple of the beer bars that I went to that had Italian craft beers were they had what they were calling New England IPAs and they were hazy, but the hop presence wasn't quite there. It was it was hitting some of the notes, but not quite all of it, and it's definitely not what is widely available in the scene.
Right.
However, when I was in Barcelona. And had some things from a couple of Spanish breweries like Mad Brewing from Madrid and Garage Brewing, which is another one in Barcelona. They were at Liquid Arts.
That's right.
But they're brewing some pretty decent haze.
Right.
So and we even saw at Liquid Arts that there were European breweries that are brewing some really good haze.
Oh yeah.
And there's some in the UK which are brewing some good fire.
Oh yeah, UK are killing. Cloudwater just out of control. Verdant.
Yeah.
On the Polo, Mikella.
Yeah.
Out in Europe and stuff.
Scandinavia is killing it. They're in a whole other world there.
Whole other game.
Yeah.
So I think we can unequivocally say.
I don't think there's much of an argument here.
No, I think it's just from people who just don't fuck with it, and they're just sort of like the Haze Craze is about to be over, and they want to get rid of it, and it's not going to work.
Not a chance.
So
not a chance.
Good luck with that.